Welcome to TV Africa News. Thank you so much for joining us and always being part of us. This is Africa Today. My name is Nahabi Kajur, and in the headlines. Banknotes with deceased Governor Mutabide's signature still legal tender. UPDF handed Nambole Stadium to start renovation works. Residents react after President survives purge attempt. In our sports today, Senegal beats Burkina Faso in pulsating semi-final match. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. We start with one of our top stories. Now, the Bank of Uganda has clarified that all banknotes it has issued are still legal tender and the public should use them. More details in this report.
Following the death of Professor Emmanuel Tumusiime Mutabire, who was the governor, reports circulated on social media that all banknotes bearing his signature will soon expire and cease to be legal tender. However, in a statement released on Wednesday, Bank of Uganda clarified that the reports are baseless and unfounded, adding that the change of the office bearer or death of the person who signed on banknotes as governor doesn't in any way affect the validity or legal status of the note he or she signed. The central bank explained that the design, features, and characteristics of the banknotes include, among others, the signature of the governor, adding that the current banknotes remain legal tender until they are determined otherwise by Bank of Uganda, which is the only institution authorized with the mandate to change currency banknotes. Bank of Uganda said that the public is advised to disregard the false information that is circulating on different media platforms, claiming that the banknotes bearing the signature of the former governor expired upon his demise. Bank of Uganda added that all the denominations of the banknotes issued by the Bank of Uganda and bearing the signature of former governor remain legal tender and can be used to carry out cash transactions, settle financial obligations, and give monetary value. Uganda has banknotes in 6 denominations, including 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, and 50,000.
Moving on in our top stories, the State Minister for Sports, Hamson Obua, has officially handed over Nambole Stadium to the UPDF Engineering Brigade to start renovating works on the facility. Now, the facility had failed to meet both the continental body and World Football Governing Body FIFA standards, prompting the ban. Our reporter Nalugo has the details.
The renovation works will be in 2 phases, with the first one being the construction of a 4.1-kilometer boundary wall to fend off encroachers before renovations around the playing surface, floodlights, running track, and the media center, among other facilities in the stadium. Minister Obua described the first phase of construction of the boundary wall as the start of the journey to protect the facility's land from encroachers. He, however, asked locals to support the construction works. Anne Abeja, a board member for the Mandela National Stadium, said that they have a very ambitious strategic plan that runs up to 2025, but said it could be effectively implemented over a number of challenges. Whereas the first phase of constructing the perimeter wall will cost 3.8 billion shillings and is to be completed in 4 months, the entire renovation works are set to last 9 months at the cost of 97 billion shillings. Chira Municipality Member of Parliament Ibrahim Semjunganda, in whose constituency the stadium sits, urged the UPDF Engineering Brigade to put to good use the resources allocated to them for the project. Officially opened in 1997, the 35,000 capacity Mandela National Stadium, also known as Nambole, is home to the country's national football team, the Cranes.
Well, thank you so much, reporter Nadugo. Moving on in the top stories, the Uganda Microfinance Support Center registers a 20 years journey of financial inclusion and contribution towards Uganda's socio-economic transformation. Our reporter Kachanchu has more.
In her address to the media, the Microfinance Support Center Deputy Executive Director, Madam Helene Petronila Maska, said that after being derived from the Rural Microfinance Support Project in 2001, designed to accord microfinance support to the rural poor, the Microfinance Support Center has carried on the objectives of the project majorly to facilitate access to affordable financial services. In the past 20 years, the institution has accorded capacity building and cheap microcredit to eligible Ugandans through a variety of networks, including 12 zones, 4 satellite offices and agents across the country.
The Microfinance Support Center has carried on the objectives of the project, and among which is to facilitate access to affordable financial services to the citizens of this country. I will give an explanation later on why we are talking about affordable financial services. Over the last 20 years, the Microfinance Support Center has delivered capacity building and cheap microcredit to qualifying Ugandans through a branch network of the 12 zonal offices and then satellite offices. With a combination of agents, we also work through our partner organizations to reach out to the communities. The zonal offices, the 12 zonal offices I'm talking about, they are located in Arua. We have Soroti, Moroto, Lira. Then we have a regional office in Mbale, Jinja, Kampala.
Madam Helen Maska also said that currently the Microfinance Support Center extends financial support to small and medium enterprises, village savings and loans associations and cooperatives, thus being entrusted by government with the Presidential Initiative on Jobs and Wealth Creation Program in 2019, which further strengthened its mandate, absorbing more financially excluded Ugandans.
Lending to cooperatives and the agriculture sector, MSC gradually expanded its client base and target sector to ensure more categories of Ugandans that were moving with us in this journey of financial inclusion. Today, the Microfinance Support Center extends financial services to groups, to microfinance institutions, or at times they call them MFIs. You've heard about them. They extend credit to the citizens of our country. Then we also reach out to small and medium enterprises. And here we're not looking at the big ones. We are looking at the micro, the small ones that are supporting the agricultural value chain. Then we're also supporting the VSLAs. These are village savings and loan associations. They normally have crowds of our community members.
The Ugandan government, through the Microfinance Support Center, has invested 600 billion shillings in the past 20 years, creating jobs and increasing household incomes for millions of Ugandans. Through the past 20 years, the institution has managed a variety of microfinance programs on behalf of the Ugandan government, and it's currently managing the Emyoga program, targeting 18 specializations, including fishermen, journalists, performing artists, women, among others. TV Africa News, Kachanju Mtabazi reporting.
Well, thank you so much, reporter. We take a quick break. We shall come back with the international news. Welcome back from the break. You're still watching TV Africa, the Brighton. In our international news today, Bissau residents are reacting to news of President Umaro Embalo surviving a gun attack in what has been called an attempt coup in one of Africa's most unstable countries. Take a look at the story.
Heavily armed men on Tuesday, 1st February 2020 afternoon, surrounded government buildings in the capital Bissau, where Embalo and his prime minister were believed to be attending a cabinet meeting. Embalo, 49, later told reporters that he had been unharmed during a 5-hour gun battle, which he described as a plot to wipe out the government. 6 soldiers were killed during an attempted push in Bissau this week, an army official in the West African country said on Wednesday, without specifying whether they had been assailants. On Tuesday, heavily armed men surrounded government buildings in the capital Bissau, where President Umar Sissoco Embalo and his prime minister were believed to be attending a cabinet meeting. Embalo, 49, who survived the attack, later told reporters that he had been unharmed during a 5-hour gun battle, which he described as a plot to wipe out the government. On Wednesday, a military official who declined to be named told the media that 6 soldiers had been killed. He did not specify whether those killed had been defending or attacking Embalo. The army has established a commission to investigate the incident and find the perpetrators, according to the military official.
Still in Guinea-Bissau, President Umaro Embalo has declared that peace has returned to the country after Tuesday's failed coup attempt. Now, the president spoke to the media after announcing on social networks that the situation was under control. We have more on this report.
Umaro Sissoco Embalo, president of Guinea-Bissau, while at the preview of the Council of Ministers, said that he could never have imagined that the President of the Republic, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, the Prime Minister, and all other members of the government were surprised by gunfire from heavy artillery, machine guns, and AK-47s. The shooting lasted 5 hours in order to rescue the Supreme Commander. On Tuesday, the government palace was under attack for several hours while the president and prime minister were inside. The authorities did not provide information about victims, all who might be behind the attack. The former Portuguese colony is a coastal state of around 2 million people lying south of Senegal. It has seen 4 military coups since gaining independence from Portugal in 1974, most recently in 2012. In 2014, the country vowed to return to constitutional government, but it has enjoyed little stability since then, and the armed forces enjoy substantial influence.
Moving on, Somalia, Kenya, and now Ethiopia have raised the alarm about the latest climate shock of a fragile region traversed by herders and others trying to keep their animals and themselves alive. More details in this report.
In Ethiopia's Somali region, people have seen the failures of what should have been the 3 straight rainy seasons. Droughts come and go over the years, but one resident told a visiting team with the United Nations Children's Agency that she and her 7 children have never seen one like this. More than 6 million people in Ethiopia are expected to need urgent humanitarian aid by mid-March, UNICEF said on Tuesday. And in neighboring Somali, more than 7 million people need urgent help, the Somali non-governmental organization Consortium said in a separate statement, pleading with the international donors to give much more. The Consortium said that this could be the region's worst drought in 40 years. UNICEF estimates that more than 150,000 children in such areas of Ethiopia have dropped out of school to help fetch scarce water and handle other chores. UNICEF's Ethiopian representative told the United Nations briefing in Geneva by video conference on Tuesday that some water sources were drying up or already dry, and pointed to the need to rehabilitate wells, drill boreholes, and get water to health and nutrition systems. He said the Ethiopian government's conflict with fighters from the country's northern Tigray region has had no impact on UNICEF's response to the drought-stricken areas, hundreds of kilometers to the southeast.
Away from that, thousands of homes were left without power in Mauritius on Wednesday as powerful cyclone winds battered the Indian Ocean island nation. Take a look at the story.
Tropical cyclone Batsirai passed within about 130 kilometers of the holiday paradise, bringing heavy downpours and winds of around 120 kilometers per hour, with a peak of 151 kilometers per hour recorded in the capital, Port Louis. Life was brought to a standstill, with public transport cancelled, shops and banks shut, and air and sea travel halted. At least 7,500 homes were without power after the winds knocked down trees onto electricity lines, according to the local electricity board. The telephone network was also disrupted. The reopening of schools, closed since November because of the spread of the COVID variant Omicron, could not take place as planned. The French island of Reunion, which lies about 230 kilometers southwest of Mauritius, was on red alert for the likely passage of Cyclone Batsirai overnight. In 2007, 2 people were killed in Mauritius and 9 hurt in Reunion when a cyclone hit the islands. Tropical storms and torrential rains have also wreaked havoc in southern Africa in recent days, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Tropical storm Anna claimed the lives of 86 people in Mozambique, Madagascar, and Malawi last week.
Africa Today takes a quick break. We shall come back with the business news. Welcome back from the break. You're watching TV Africa, the right to know. In a business news today, the Kazoo County Member of Parliament, Dan Kimosho, has said Emyoga program has the potential to turn around the economy. Now, Emyoga retorts on the concept of members doing a similar job, organizing themselves under a circle, save and later borrow from their own circle.
Speaking during the Emyoga monitoring function organized in his constituency and presided over by the State Minister for Microfinance, Haruna Kasoro, Kimosho said the program has exploits that will see it change the economy. The Kazoo County MP also noted that everyone, including politicians, ought to support the program throughout the country to ensure its success. Minister Kasoro said the indicators of good performance of Emyoga program are savings and loan repayments by members. With savings to a tune of 114 million shillings, the minister said Kazoo is still lagging behind compared to other constituencies around the country. He also noted the Microfinance Support Center, which is the implementing agency, is going to scale up trainings about Emyoga to ensure members of the public don't have excuses. Whereas a number of politicians in the area, led by the MP Dan Kimosho, had complained that money had spent a lot of time on the account without being disbursed, Minister Kasolo said in response that there was no problem in that, since the beneficiaries had to be first prepared before getting the money. According to Abdu Bisaso, the Deputy National Coordinator for Emyoga program, an additional 100 billion shillings will be injected into the circle.
Thank you so much, reporter. Turning your attention to iHealth News today. Nigerian health workers are making progress in vaccinating residents of a Fulani community near the capital, Abuja. Now, vaccine hesitancy has been high in the Fulani community due to the spread of false information. We have the details.
Health workers are using the example set by President Muhammadu Buhari, also a Fulani who has been inoculated. According to health worker Ahmedi Jamiu, they have been visiting the Fulani people in the past to collect the vaccine, which they refused. But when they went to their aid and told them that the president is of their tribe and that he has received the jab, as was shown in the media, they responded positively. Ahmed added that now they're using it as a strategy to tell other Fulani that they have to collect their vaccine, and luckily enough, they have vaccinated so far many people in the camp. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is a 47-year-old cattle herder who has changed his mind after initially refusing to be vaccinated. The cattle herder said that the COVID-19 vaccine is good and had taken the vaccine together with his wife and brother and called on all Fulani people to come out and take the vaccine. Health authorities have set an ambitious goal of vaccinating more than a quarter of the population by the end of February. So far, only around 4% of the population have been vaccinated. The population of Nigeria is estimated at 206 million people.
In our sports news today, Senegal has beaten Burkina Faso for a plus in the final of the 2021 African Cup of Nations in Cameroon. Now the Teranga Lions went past the strong-willed Burkina Faso side 3-1 in Yaoundé on Wednesday evening.
It took over 70 minutes of action before they could break the ice when defender Abdou Diallo scored the opener, and the joy had hardly subsided when fans exploded again with Ghana Guy's second. Burkina Faso pulled back one and with hopes were racing for an equalizer when Sadio Mane struck for Senegal after the midfield error from the Stallions. The counter-attack sealed it up for Senegal, who will now go on for its second consecutive AFCON final, the third in its history on Sunday. The Teranga Lions are still in search for their first AFCON trophy.
Well, thank you so much for being a loyal audience from where we started from. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We shall keep giving you the updates. It is TV Africa, the right to know.